Hey guys, this is OddOneGaming. This is going to be another Raid Shadow Legends video. In today's video, we're going to talk about the fusion calendar that we have out, and obviously the fusion has started as well, for Thor Hammer. I'm not going to go through his kit already because we have already seen it, and unfortunately I didn't get a chance to do some proper testing on him myself because I was really busy. Honestly, there's lots of stuff happening in real life, right? In IRL, there's lots of big stuff happening right now. So the last 3 days I've been just in town all day. That's why I've not been posting for a while. But when it comes to his kit, I've seen several people post. He does seem like he's a solid damage dealer, right? Like he does seem like he's gonna be amazing for Hydra or any other areas that you wanna use him as an AoE damage dealer. So I guess I'm gonna play around with him as well myself, and then I'm gonna release a video in the next few days. But when we look at the fusion, this one's one of those mixed, the hybrid ones where we have to collect fragments for the 4 epics, which are the same same epics, right? All void affinity, and then you're gonna have to get them to 5-star, level 50, and then get them to 6-star. So that's one of the first things that I want to mention, just so you know. Just so you're gonna be prepared, right? Because you wanna make sure that you're gonna have food to build them if you get close to the end of it, so you don't get, you don't get left out. But I guess let's have a look quick at Dyana Gloompiercer's kit, just so just so we see what's happening with her. So A1 double hit has a 30% chance landing decreased defense. It's not too bad, but not too good either. 30% is not the highest, however it's on each hit. So I guess it can be pretty decent for stuff like Demon Lord if you're early on. A2 teams up with 2 random allies to attack a single enemy. The allies join the attack would use their default skill, so basically an ally attack with just 2 people, same way as somebody like a Morag has, or Catacomb Counselor, or other epics. If the target's under decreased defense debuff, these attacks will ignore 20% of the target's defense. This one can be pretty cool considering it's on a 3-turn cooldown, so you know what, this could be interesting. Again, it seems to me like so far this is a Demon Lord kit, right? It's gonna be random who joins the attack, but still, she can bring the decreased defense, she can bring the ally attack. It can be decent for something like that. This is mostly like if you're somebody who's just starting, early game, mid game, if you don't have like 1 kill to nightmare, she could be interesting. Then A3 attacks all enemies before attacking, places increased crit damage and increased crit rate and crit damage buff on her for 2 turns. This attack kills an enemy, places perfect veil on all allies for 1 turn. This one's a 3-turn cooldown, so she has inbuilt increased crit rate and increased crit damage. So I guess if you'd start with this, you could easily build her with just 70% crit rate. So that's good. 3 turns cooldown, and then increased defense. Then on the passive, this champion will ignore shield and strengthen buffs when attacking under increased attack, veil, or perfect veil buff. I guess she doesn't bring it herself, so this one's not relevant. Plus, shield strength, you don't really care for Demon Lord. This is more like arena stuff, okay? And then increases her attack in all battles by 20%. All in all, she's not amazing, but again, for a progressing account, for someone that's progressing through the game, having an ally attack and a decreased defense plus self-buffing for the sake of the Demon Lord can be interesting, right? So I guess if you're somebody early game, you might want to keep her. However, like if you cannot do the fusion. However, I would really hardly emphasize on the fact that you should get this fusion, okay? Because he's just really good. Well, also one thing that's really important, make sure you're not left out with the potions, right? Because the Void Keep is only open on Sundays, right? So if you don't have enough Ascension potions, like if you look over here, I have quite a ton. For Void, I'm good, but if you don't have enough of these, then make sure you farm them on this Sunday or the next Sunday, the latest. I'm gonna remind you guys as well later because I'm gonna do an update kind of like, every few days maybe, or if you want me to do every day update on what I'm focusing on, let me know. But let's look at the calendar, right? Because it's been 4 minutes of the video, we haven't looked at the calendar. So it says over here behind me, let me move myself a bit, that we can get 200 fragments from tournaments, 200 from events, that's 400, that's basically exactly enough to fuse to get all 4 of the epics. And then there's another summon rush with champion fragment, that's another 50. So that's something that I would not take into consideration, the last one, because that's just extra, or I guess that's a good backup because I just straight up see that it's here. That's a good backup in case you miss something, right? So because that's at the end, not the way that I had it before in the middle, I guess that can be interesting. And I'm quite sure that during this Tuesday, Wednesday, I have a strong feeling that that's when the Deck of Fate for Freya, right? For, let me show you exactly what I'm talking about. Obviously, one of the Asgard Divide champions. I'm quite sure that that's when they're going to do for the Freya Fate Weaver. I'm quite sure that's when we're going to do the Deck of Fate. I did show in a previous fusion that in the previous video, that they mentioned the fact that she's going to be part of a Deck of Fate. So not only is she going to be on a 10 times starting tomorrow, you know, 2 times Sacred, 10 times with her. We already had her as a part of a 10 times, but she's also gonna be, like I said, again, I'm not 100% sure, but I have a really strong feeling, and last time I said that I was right, that she's gonna be over here in the Summer Rush. So you might, you know, you might think about that. I don't think we're gonna get the news before this Summer Rush ends, but think about that, because you might skip this one and do the other one. Okay, so that could be an idea if there's nothing gonna be interesting during this weekend. But let's have a look at the dungeons that we have. So this time around we start with the spider. I don't remember the last time that we actually started with the spider tournament first, and then we have artifact enhancement, champion training, and then dungeon divers. So what I would suggest is day one, don't go on spider, right? Don't go hard on spider, because I would think that you would rather wait for the dungeon divers event to start. So the way that I'm gonna be personally doing that is I'm just gonna do this over here, right? Spider this, and let me see where she is. I did somewhere. Did I change it? I changed it, I think, for something else. But what I'm gonna personally do is I'm just gonna do the RX solo, right? If you manage to have a decent build on RX, that's what I would suggest. Just do the solo, because that's going to be perfect for double dipping, right? Let me show you exactly what I mean. So I just have to set her in there and lock her A3. But if you do have her, honestly, awakenings don't really matter. The only thing that you need on RX is to have a pretty decent, you need a decent Slayer set, right? And if you also have the masteries, like I have a video on it. You know what? I'm gonna link the video of her solo build at the end of this one's gonna be either up here or, you know, one of the cards at the end. So basically, if you manage to have her like that, then that's a perfect way for you to solo stage 10 hard and also level up food, because that's the way you're gonna be triple dipping, right? By doing this, you're gonna get points for the spider tournament, you're gonna get champion training being worked on, and you're also gonna get dungeon diver points, right? So from my point of view, this is the best thing that people should do, obviously, if you do have her. So that's because it's pretty fast as well, right? I think it takes like a minute and 20 seconds, something like that. But again, I'm just gonna link the video towards the end, and I'm just gonna show. I'm gonna let her, I guess, do her thing, even though it's almost done. But this is pretty fun and pretty easy, right? She keeps herself sustained with the leech that she lands from the masteries, but if you don't have that, you just need 4 pieces of Slayer, and then you need a lifesteal set, right? If you can get a lifesteal set plus 4 pieces of Slayer, then that's pretty much RX solo for you and job done. Okay, this one I guess was a bit of bad RNG. I didn't quite kill them, but next time I kill the spiderlings, the boss is dead. And it's again, it's pretty fast, right? It's pretty fast considering that most solo comps usually take about 2 minutes or like 1.5 minutes at least for other dungeons, and spider's one the hardest one to do that for. And you know what? This one works over here. Let me see defense, speed, HP. That's good. You see, she pretty much did it no problem. Now let's continue looking at this. So like I said, spider, champion training, artifact enhancement, obviously we have the silver, and then dungeon divers. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna use my daily energy today, maybe doing a few of these, but then continue the rest for when dungeon diver starts. Then we have champion chase tournament tomorrow. That's pretty much straightforward, and I guess one of the things that I would say to keep an eye out on, and one thing that maybe you could do if you do invest a lot of points, you can get 350 champion chase points by fusing one of the Dyanas, right? Because you're gonna get 25 from Spider, 25 from Artifact Enhancement, 25 from Champion Training, and 25 from Dungeon Diver. So if you manage to finish these 4, or maybe even the Classic Arena as a 5th one, if you manage to finish all of those by Sunday, that means you can fuse one of the Dianas, and that's what you should do, because that's easy 350 Champion Chase tournament points, okay? If you don't have that many shards, always keep that in mind. Not only that, but obviously you're going to be having the, you know, if you have some previous fusions, if you have more broad mods that you want to fuse, if you have Relic Keepers, if you have some fragment fusions that you want to save, Champion Chase is pretty easy and pretty straightforward. Then we see that on Sunday we have the Dragon starting, which again, we can double dip the Dragon with the Dungeon Divers if you don't quite finish it with the Spider and the Champion Training event, right? You can do Dragon and Dungeon Divers. Again, for Dragon, you could do some solo comps as well to double dip with Champion Training. So there's plenty of ways to do it. If you cannot, then just, you know, focus on the best stages you can do and move on. Artifact Enhancement, Dungeon Divers, pretty straightforward. I don't like that this Dungeon Divers doesn't double dip in these 2 days, right? Wednesday and Thursday is just basically, at least Wednesday, it's like a dead day for Dungeon Divers, so maybe focus on something else. But then Thursday it starts again, Dungeon Divers with Fire Knight, Champion Training on Friday, that's gonna double dip with Summon Rush. It's pretty standard, right? Pretty standard fusion. It's just the end thing, like I said, the Summon Rush over here is the thing, the one that changes things. It's, I would say what you should do everything up until this Friday, right? And hopefully Friday, or maybe, you know what, maybe we're gonna be getting some news on Sunday about, or like before that, about the summon rush on Tuesday, even though I don't expect them to do that, because it's raid. They want us to spend the resources so they can force us to spend money. But I would say just do everything up until you get to this weekend, and then if this weekend, the next weekend on the 13th, there's nothing, you know, stuff's not that interesting, you on the summon rush doing that 15 times that they usually do the progressive chance, then just skip it and wait to see what this summon rush is gonna be with, which again, I have a strong feeling it might be like a summon rush with a deck of fate, or I might be wrong, because usually if it's deck of fate, there's no summon rush. But there might be something, a guaranteed though, or something like that, who knows. But anyway, guess we're gonna leave it at this for today, guys. Thank you all for watching. Let me know in the comments down below, are you gonna go for this fusion or not? Because from my point of view, I would advise people to do it, as the fusion is pretty standard. You have the shots, you have energy saved up, and the champion himself, he's pretty good and totally worth it. But yeah, thank you all for watching, guys. As always, if you do enjoy my content, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel to see when I upload next, and I'm gonna see you on the next one. Peace, love, take care, everyone. Bye, guys.